What if I told you that the biggest competitor your child has for a spot in college isn't another student? It's a criminal bot. This is the new face of organized crime in American education. A $180 million fraud that is haunting community colleges and threatening the future of federal student aid.
Welcome back to United as Proud YouTube channel. Today on the Vanguard podcast, we're talking about something that you've guaranteed never seen before. We're talking about ghosts in the machine.
What if I told you that the biggest competitor your child has for a spot in college isn't another student? It's a criminal bot.
And what I told you that these bots are creating armies of ghost students, fake identities, enroll in college, steal millions in financial aid, and disappear, leaving real students wasted and locked out.
This isn't science fiction. This is the new face of organized crime in American education. A $180 million fraud that is haunting community colleges and threatening the future of federal student aid.
This is a story of a ghost student. And it's a story that reveals a terrifying vulnerability at the heart of the education system.
It sounds like something out of a William Gibson novel. Criminals using bots to create fake students and steal money. But according to the US Department of Education, it's very real. They've uncovered 180 million probable. $180 million.
Let's break down that number. $150 million in financial aid has been paid out to students who were later deemed ineligible. Another $30 million to applicants who are using the stolen identities of deceased people. These are just errors. This is a sophisticated, organized fraud.
The epicenter of the crisis is the community college system. These schools have an open to all acceptance policy, which is a noble and important part of our education system. But criminals have turned that open door into a vulnerability.
Here's how the whole scheme works. Criminal networks often oversee flood community college application system with thousands of fraudulent applications. They do this in the middle of the night, overwhelming the school security system. Because of the open enrollment policy, these fake applications are automatically accepted.
Once the ghost student is enrolled, the bot automatically applies for federal financial aid, the FAFSA, and scholarships. The money is dispersed to a bank account controlled by the criminals, and the ghost student never shows up for a single class. They just disappeared.
In California, a type of fraud has skyrocketed 74% in the last year, with a $7.5 million jump up to $13 million. And it's happening all over the country. Michigan, Minnesota, Oregon, New Jersey. Community colleges are under siege.
The identities they're using are terrifyingly sophisticated. They're not just stealing real identities, they're creating synthetic identities. Frankenstein style creations that combine bits of real and fake personal data to create a brand new, non existent person that is almost impossible to detect. It's crazy.
So you have this army of invisible students created by bots who are stealing millions of dollars and taking up spots in classrooms that should be going for real deserving students. And it's all happening at the worst possible time.
This isn't a victimless crime. The consequences are devastating, and they could create a domino effect that ripples through the entire education system.
First, you have the community colleges themselves. They're losing millions of dollars in funding. Classrooms should be full are empty, which wrecks budget and curriculum planning. They're facing increased scrutiny from federal regulators, which puts their accreditation at risk.
It's a perfect storm. Then you have the real students. They're the ones who are being waitlisted or denied admission because of a ghost student who took their spot. They're the ones who can't get the financial aid they need because it's been stolen by criminals. They're the ones who are being forced to take on more debt, altering their entire financial future.
And it's all happening right as we're about to hit the enrollment cliff. Starting in 2026, we're going to 18% drop in the number of high school graduates to declining birth rates after the 2008 recession. Colleges are already fighting for smaller pool students. Now, they have to compete with an army of ghosts.
It's a perfect storm. You have a vulnerable system, sophisticated criminals, and a demographic crisis that is putting immense pressure on colleges to keep their enrollment numbers up. Even if it means turning a blind eye to suspicious applications.
And it gets worse. The Department of Education is now requiring strict identity verification for FAFSA applicants. Things on the surface it sounds good, but what it really means is there are more hoops for real students to jump through, more bureaucracy, more chances for legitimate students. They call it the crossfire. The criminals will adapt. It's the real students who suffer.
So what does that have to do with our students who are aiming for the Ivy League, not community colleges? So what does this have to do with our students who are aiming for the Ivy League, not community college? Everything, because this scandal reveals a fundamental truth. The brand name of a college is not a guarantee of quality, security, or even basic competence.
College systems are so weak that they can be defeated by a simple lie. What does that say about the quality of the education that they're providing? If you can't even verify that students feel, how can you trust them with this child's future?
This is why we believe that the era of chasing logos is over. The future of education isn't about getting into just any college. It's about getting into the right college for the right reasons, with the right skills. And it's about building a student who is undeniably excellent. They're not competing with ghosts for the last spot in a community college class. Still the best first spot at Warwood.
It's become loaded, bureaucratic, vulnerable. A system that prioritizes enrollment numbers over educational quality. A system that is ripe for disruption.
At Ignite, we are disruption. We are that disruption. We're not preparing students to get into college. We're preparing them to thrive in a world where systems fail, where institutions are incompetent, and where the only thing skills, your own character, and your own mind.
Despite a mentor matrix, our direct winning mentors are focused on building irreplaceable cognitive skills. This is the antidote to the ghost crisis. Work just helping you get a degree will help you build a future that's fraud-proof, up, and future-proof.
The ghost student scandal is a wake-up call for every parent in America. It's a sign that the education system you thought you knew is gone. It's been replaced by a chaotic, vulnerable, and often
Navigating this new world requires a new kind of intelligence, requires an understanding of the system's weaknesses, and a strategy for building a student who is strong enough to overcome.
that's what we provide at Ignite. And we've compiled all our intelligence into a free guide called our Black Book.
If you want to learn how to protect a child from the fears of the system, give them unfair to neutral intelligence, click that link in the show notes and download that book for free right now. This was the Vanguard Podcast. Appreciate the listen. Smack the like button. Subscribe. Comment what you want to see next. Zach, final words?
Those are my final words. I think everything was said perfectly. We'll see you guys on the next one.